February the 23rd. I feel like traveling today with you to the west coast of North America and to a time before the effects of the fur trade and when the gold rush wreaked havoc on indigenous groups, exterminating many of them. At that time, the people living along the Pacific coast, from Alaska in the north all the way to California in the south, formed a continuous chain of foraging societies, perhaps the largest such distribution in the world. At that point, though, their similarities stop. The peoples in the northern part relied heavily on fishing, in particular fish like salmon that migrated upriver from the sea to spawn. That doesn't mean that they didn't hunt marine mammals and game as well as gathered plants. But the fishing was so important it left its mark on their society. Just as the salmon migration is seasonal, so were their social orders. They spent the winter months in large, coastal, strongly hierarchical villages, while they split up in smaller, more egalitarian units during the summer. It was during the winter months that chiefs jockeyed for positions within ranks of hereditary privilege by staging dazzling banquets to enhance their claims to honorific titles and heirloom treasures stretching back to the beginning of time. They also jockeyed for the best expert woodworkers of ordinary rank who transformed the local conifers into a dazzling material culture of carved and painted masks, containers, tribal crests, totem poles, and richly decorated houses and canoes. And they frequently engaged as well in intergroup raiding, where they captured people who became hereditary slaves. What I just said and more was true from the Klamath River northwest. That's here, the Klamath River. To the south, the Aboriginal societies of California were nothing like that. They too were proficient fishers and hunters, but many followed an ancient reliance on tree crops, especially nuts and acorns, terrestrial resources which they managed by careful techniques of burning, clearing, and pruning. And they had a work ethic which is remarkable, similar to what Max Weber describes as the Protestant work ethic of Central and Northern Europe. Their culture emphasized thrive and simplicity, a disapproval of wasteful pleasures, and a glorification of work. These people took for granted that we were all born as equals and that it is up to each of us to make something out of ourselves through self-discipline, self-denial, and hard work. They were highly independent in that way and hated to become indebted to someone else. The people in California even had a myth about a group from the north coming to steal people from them to turn them into their slaves, and how the northern societies break apart because the slaveholders become fat and lazy, and once their slaves run away, have forgotten all about how to feed themselves. It would be hard to find two neighboring groups whose moral, ethical, and political systems were more the polar opposites of each other. Maybe Athens and Sparta. You would think researchers would be all over them to figure out what was going on there. Truth is, since they are not engaged in what the Europeans consider agriculture, all the group of the Pacific coast of North America are lumped together into the same categories of affluent foragers or complex hunter-gatherers. If differences are discussed, people try to find causal explanations for social structures outside influences like in the ecology. The idea that people are living that way because they have reflected about how people ought to live, considering different philosophies, values, and politics, especially in contrast to what their neighbors are doing, is considered unthinkable. It would require of us to acknowledge that we talk already back then and between non-Europeans about people who can reflect on the kind of society they want to live in, about very conscious and self-conscious adults choosing from a wide range of possibilities to live together. And this would kick the legs from under the story of progress, from hunter-gatherers to complex urban commercial civilizations, that tells us that freedom is a sign of inferiority of a social group order in which everyone is always equally poor. The story of technology being the end all, and so on and so on. But what strikes me is that it also says a lot about how we, the people, are seen by those who turn their material wealth into power, those who were mostly engaged in these kinds of research. To say that these people were not capable to build their societies and political systems in a conscious fashion, but only stumbled into systems because of external factors, people who were exactly as capable as us, as our brains haven't changed much over the last millennia capacity-wise, is to tell us we can't do it. Just like the people of the Pacific coast of North America, we can. Yes, we can. We just have to debate like them, think longer thoughts, make a habit out of thinking and reflecting, and trying to find arguments to convince other people with those thoughts. Turn thinking into a movement, make a habit out of thinking and reflecting, turn thinking into a movement all the way to the town halls and ballot boxes. Like, comment, and share. And as always, thank you for gifting me with a few minutes of your most precious, your lifetime. Make it your priority to figure out in what society you want to spend it and work on bringing it about.